Now, the president's statement came as he announced a raft of measures aimed at keeping the economy afloat during this crisis. The 53.7 billion shilling stimulus plan is spread across sectors such as tourism, manufacturing, as well as cushioning vulnerable groups. But as Faizal Ahmed now reports, many analysts say the plan is a good start, but still a drop in the ocean.
In the plan, President Kenyatta focused on 8 key points, which he says will aid the country get back on its feet economically.
Today, I am happy to announce the rolling out of my 8-point economic stimulus program, amounting to some 53.7 billion Kenya shillings. The injection of this money into the economy will stimulate growth and cushion families and companies as together we navigate our way out of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The plan includes 5 billion shillings to hire local labour for the rehabilitation of access roads and footbridges that were damaged during the floods. A further 6.5 billion shillings has been allocated to the Ministry of Education to hire 10,000 teachers and 1,000 ICT interns to support digital learning and acquisition of 250,000 locally fabricated desks. 10 billion shillings will be used to fast-track payment of outstanding VAT refunds and other pending payments, with 3 billion shillings as seed capital for SMEs credit guarantee. The state will also release 1.7 billion shillings for the expansion of bed capacity in public hospitals, with 5,000 healthcare workers with diploma levels being hired. In the agriculture sector, 3 billion shillings has been set aside for the supply of farm inputs through e-vouchers, with another 1.5 billion shillings aimed at assisting horticultural farmers access international markets. In the tourism sector, 2 billion shillings will be used for the support of hotel industry in soft loans, with 1 billion shillings set aside for engaging 5,500 community scouts and a further 1 billion shillings for 160 community conservancies. Kenyatta allocated 1 billion shillings for flood control measures and 850 million shillings to rehabilitate wells, water pans and underground tanks. 540 million shillings has also been allocated for Greening Campaign Kenya. Finally, to support the manufacturing sector, the president allocated 600 million shillings for the purchase of locally assembled vehicles to keep the industry afloat. But the plans by the state, analysts say, may do little to turn around the tide. Tony Watima is an economist.
3 billion is looking at the magnitude of the economic impact you're talking about is not what we intended to look at if you're talking about a response to COVID. So you talk about 2% of GDP, we are looking at around 200 billion that government needs to inject in the economy. So you look at 53 billion and 200, what we're looking at, it's less than half.
Watima further faulting lumping VAT refunds and pending bills as stimulus plans.
Look at the 53 billion, we're talking about pending bills and VAT refunds. That's not an economic stimulus. That's money that government owed to people. So they are paying that money. So that should not be part of, you can talk about an economic response. And you look at the larger share of that 53 billion comes from these packets that we're talking about, VAT refunds and pending bills. We need to separate those two.
The plan announced by the president is part of the National Treasury's 2020-2021 financial year budget set to be tabled in the National Assembly on June 11th by CS Ukur Yatani. Faizal Ahmed, Citizen TV, Nairobi.